Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
I assume Tom.
Superhero Diaries. We've already talked to half the cast before. Now we're talking to Black Widow herself, Maria Breese. How are you today? Because this series is just getting a little more fun, especially with the new episode of Wonder Woman being drunk. But we haven't seen Black Widow in all her glory with a couple of bottles of vodka in hand.
Well, I'm doing well. I don't know that you're going to see Black Widow get drunk, but you will definitely see some antics coming up. I think you guys are in for a treat.
It's been fun so far. You know, they're short 5-10 minute clips, you know, perfect for the Gen Z, you know, attention span. Yeah. You know, I mean, come on, TikTok's king, and that's what, 45 seconds to a minute, if that. So, you know, we're working things through. Some of us older people want to see like a full length feature once it's done, you know, all 45 minutes of the season spliced together. You know, we talked to Scott about it, and Scott is definitely a character.
Oh, yes.
We love the guy.
We love him.
Take us through the audition process and then being a part of, you know, Superhero Diaries.
Yeah, so the audition process was actually a little different than the typical auditions that you hear about. For this, it was like, tell me a little bit about yourself. I was on with Scott via Zoom. Are you vaccinated? Do you like comedy? Do you think you're funny? And, you know, what superhero is your favorite superhero? And it's like, okay, but how do you really choose? These are the ones that I would kind of get pinpointed as. And then he was like, well, I really like you, so I think you're hired. Not sure who you're going to play yet, but, you know, I like you. I was like, I like you too, Scott. And here we are. Now I'm Black Widow.
Okay, so who was your favorite then?
I think my favorite is Thor. Just because he's a god. I mean, that's not really even a superpower. I think that's just power. And
zero egotism there. It's like, oh, it's just because they're a deity. That fits my personality perfectly.
No. I mean, if I could play Thor, I think I would really advocate for that, but I don't know that I quite fit the aesthetic. There might be some casting issues there.
Lady Thor, you know, the movie's coming out, Love and Thunder. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do like that. I love that they're bringing more females into the universe because, you know, you really have, it's slim pickings there. And I feel like not a lot of people are really represented yet.
You know, it's interesting, like what DC does with the Green Lantern Corps is that like, well, we need a black guy. Well, we're not going to make Hal Jordan black. We'll just create a black guy and make him Green Lantern. You know, we need a redhead guy to be Green Lantern. All right, we got Guy Gardner and so on and so forth. Like, I actually advocate for more so the creation of new characters rather than, you know what, this week let's do a gender swap.
Totally.
Let's do a race swap. And I was like, just create somebody new when you get a new #1 comic and the sales will spike for that issue at least.
Exactly. Well, and even, you know, was it Endgame? You know, Captain Marvel is there and then she's gone for the entire movie and then shows up and like kind of helps save the day. And then it's like, yay, Captain Marvel. And I do think that, you know, the Red Witch is also quite powerful. Actually, I think she's probably the one, albeit not a god, who's like, you don't mess with. So I do think that there are some strong female characters, but I don't know that they're quite getting the screen time that we would like. Story for another time.
Right. Well, you know, the problem is they had to go film The Room Part 2. So, no.
She took a small break. She wore a wig and then she came back. She had the short hair. Yeah.
You know, got kidnapped yet again. And no.
It was a great movie though. The first one.
Oh, you can't knock it, but it'd just be funny if that's like the premise of a sequel is that they get kidnapped again.
Again.
Like, this lady's got some really bad luck.
Did that a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, after the first Taken, before we get back on track with Superhero Diaries, which is available now on YouTube, and you're an amazing Black Widow and having a lot of fun with the Satirical series. After the first Taken, where I just saved my daughter and my ex-wife's lives, and they completely negate me and ignore me at LAX after risking my own life to get them back, I'd be like, you know what? Part 2, you're on your own. Find your way out of Europe or wherever you're going this time.
Totally. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Like, I just risked my entire existence and I don't even get a thank you, not even a hug, whatever, because stepdad's rich. Stepdad gets the hug. All right.
And then I do it for 2 more movies. So,
and a TV series. Don't forget it. Ran
and a
for
TV series. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, dream job, Lady Thor. You have to settle for the Russian super spy Black Widow, which isn't really settling because the movie was a hit, made a killing. Disney kept all the profits from the Disney Plus streaming pay-per-view, which is genius on their part.
I agree.
Did you get to see your counterpart before you got to satirize her, or at least after satirizing her?
Did I get to see, I mean, obviously I've seen all the Marvel movies, and then I did get the luxury, which I think we might see in an upcoming episode if we didn't see a preview already, of me watching my movie. It was actually really, really fun. I got to go with Harley Quinn and we got to celebrate Black Widow on opening day. And I have to say, I was very impressed with the way that it turned out. I felt like women were very well represented in the movie. And it also gave me some insight, more backstory on Natasha and how she operates, why she does what she does, why her attitude is the way that it is. And it makes it easier for me as an actress to kind of play that satirical version of her.
I did have only one issue with the Black Widow movie.
Okay.
You can't be better at swinging on a rope than Spider-Man. Like, she was a little bit better than Spider-Man. And I'm just like, wait a minute, that dude's got the whole powers of swinging back and forth on that thing. How are you better than him?
For argument's sake, she has been doing it a long time. And I think his Spidey powers are more relatively new. So I'm going to say experience trumps the superpower.
Okay, we can give you that. There needs to be a scene in the next Spider-Man movie where she's actually teaching him how to swing through Manhattan.
Okay.
Well, you get serenaded by Spider-Man in the new series, Superhero Diaries. And the gentleman playing Peter Parker in this, apparently everybody hated because he's just so good at everything.
Bobby Hogan. Oh my gosh. We actually, there's a fun little snippet of us tap dancing on set together. I mean, he sings, he dances, he flips. He's so cute. He should be the next actual Peter Parker. Not to say he's coming for anyone's job, but I mean, he really does do it all. You love to hate him, hate to love him. And he's such a sweet man. I love him.
Right. He's naturally airbrushed. I get it.
Yeah. It's just one of those guys. I mean, he was doing flips and he was apparently a cheerleader in another life. I mean, what hasn't he done? I was impressed.
Well, that's the important thing is that, does he actually play guitar or was that piped in later?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he actually plays the guitar and sings. It's like when they cast him, they're like, okay, name all the things that you can't do. And that's how he got the job because there just wasn't anything.
And he didn't end up in a sock party because Scott needed him for the entire series. So.
Yep. Yeah.
For people that don't know what a sock party is, go watch Full Metal Jacket and see what happens to Pyle for snoring a little too loud, and you'll figure it out from there. No, we're teasing. No, because Bobby's great in the show, but it's just like the guy sings, dances, plays guitar. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take up the harmonica. Wow, you're fantastic. How long have you been playing? I don't know, 15 minutes.
5 seconds. Yeah, I watched a YouTube video and now I know. I feel like that generation, the Gen Zers, I feel like that's just who they are. Meanwhile, millennials were like, I tried the what recorder, at 7 years old, and I gave up instruments for good because I wasn't good at it.
Right, and then Gen X looked at you. That was a personal story. Well, the first wave of Gen X, those horrible people, sat there and gave you guys trophies for everything, and then we looked at you and were like, we didn't get a trophy for everything. What the hell? 9th place. Yeah, exactly. I'm 9th out of 9th. Did you get the same size trophy as the guy that took first place?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, pal, I guess.
Feel like till as old as time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're teasing because we're satirizing life, and you satirize superheroes. as you see the edits, because some people had to record via Zoom. The lady who plays Wonder Woman, the episode of her being drunk this week just dropped on YouTube, which was hilarious because she's talking about her show and her premiere, and then cutting in Linda Carter and Gal Gadot. What's that?
And her top. I mean,
and
it's actually a nice little mention of the female superhero costumes that we've been given. But I digress.
Well, apparently double-sided tape has been around for over 80 years in the comics, so get with the program.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess if you have superhero powers, I guess it's with everything.
Yes, it just comes form-fitting. It's just, and then just sticks, and that's it. You can't get away from it.
Totally. It's funny. I had on set, I had the belt with the guns, and I kept running into issues with my guns moving into the middle of my legs. So in a couple of the scenes you can see that it's hard for me to run, and I imagine that all of the superheroes with guns had the same issue where they just fall out or do something funky. There's always a wardrobe malfunction. Yeah.
Well, I would assume it's a wardrobe malfunction because you're wearing a leather jumpsuit in summer.
Yeah, that was also really fun.
Good at least you didn't need the gym or a diet. Oh, how'd you do it? Dehydration. No.
Drink wrap. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But there's pool parties. It's almost like real world in the superhero realm. And then you get Phil Lamar coming in giving Batman bad relationship advice as Green Lantern.
Phil Lamar, what a legend.
Phil is amazing. I will always put Phil over, and Phil will never put himself over. And we were at WonderCon a few years ago, before the world fell apart. And this kid in a wheelchair rolled up to talk to him. And Phil basically didn't pull up a chair, nothing. He took a knee and talked to this kid for 15, 20 minutes. And luckily everybody in line was respectful for it. But this kid had some special needs, and Phil took the time to talk to him in line at his booth at WonderCon. So Phil is always going to be king of the mountain for that.
That's the kind of guy he is. And I mean, I can attest to that working with him. He is just the kindest. He introduced himself. I mean, we all knew who he was, and he's very personable and cracks jokes. And it's just really easy being around him. I mean, I'm truly a fan for life. He's a really great guy.
Okay. So who would you kind of have to hate more? The Ivy League educated, super funny, super talented, genuinely nice guy, or Bobby?
I refuse to answer that question. I can't, I won't, I don't.
We had to put you on the spot just a little bit. I mean, no, Phil is absolutely tremendous. I love Phil as a human being, one of the nicest people I've ever had the chance to interview on multiple occasions. Bobby, I haven't met yet. So when the PR team, season 2, when the PR team pitches me Bobby, I'm just going to be like, I don't like you. I hope you lose your hair by the time you're 25. That's it.
It's perfectly coiffed too. It's a mirror. I don't know how he does it.
Right. And it's with a bar of soap. It's not even product or shampoo or anything. It's just the same bar of soap he washes.
Or he uses Head and Shoulders, it's stiff on the, just perfectly coiffed.
The fun part about this is that everybody I've spoken with that's a part of Superhero Diaries, and yours is the only name I've only been able to pronounce right so far, which anytime Scott casts anybody in anything, I can't pronounce anybody's name right. That's Scott's superpower, is making me look foolish when he's with me, and name pronunciations are abound. That's my kryptonite. So what's your kryptonite with all that?
Ooh, okay. What's my kryptonite? I mean, truly anything sweet. I cannot be trusted around a crafty table. I keep snacks in my pockets, any jacket pockets, purses. I always have sweets on me. I mean, I'd have to say that's,
Okay. And you were about to say something about Scott, though.
Oh, I was. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that Scott I think he makes people feel silly all the time, but I think that's who he is. And that's why he's such an incredible producer and director. He makes it easy to work. And, you know, this is relatively non-scripted when we go into it. So a lot of it is improv, and he comes up with these crazy ideas, and it's like always on the fly. And he makes people feel comfortable enough to feel like they can be funny. Even if you're the most unfunny person in the world, he makes you feel like you can do that. And it's great. I'm glad I was cast as Black Widow, because I keep that Russian demeanor pretty much throughout my entire series, my entire storyline.
And if you actually know the rules of society, if you're pretty, you don't have to be funny. Guys will just laugh at what you say, because that's why.
I think that was a compliment. Thank you.
Mixed bag. You know, you're pretty, but you're not funny. So it's like 6 to 1, half of a dozen of the other.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's a dig on all the pretty girls that think they're funny that are just awful human beings. So it's okay. We'll mix that in too.
Well, someone loved me enough to marry me, so hopefully I make him laugh.
Yeah. That, or just wanted good genetics for his kids. It's one or the other. No.
That's fair.
You've been very
Our son's pretty cute.
What's that?
Our son is pretty cute. We'll take him. We'll keep him.
Should hope so at this point.
Yeah.
Rent's expensive, man. You need that tax write-off with the kids.
God, he really needs to start making some payments, though, because we could use the help around here, you know? Yeah.
You're like, how come you weren't cast in that puppy commercial where the cute little kid is like playing with the dog? What's the deal? Step it up, Junior.
Not really, though. Come on, man. 2.5.
Right.
At 3, we're going to start making some changes.
You're like, listen, kid, by the time you can tie your shoes, that's it. There's no more free lunch.
No more freebies for you.
See, you're having a good time with this. Improv abound in this series. When you get to go back and watch what's going on, because, you know, everybody lives, you know, there are people in Texas, people in New York, people in California, and you guys all came together to film what ended up being Superhero Diaries. So there's no like real watch party essentially for everybody together, unless you do a Zoom call or a StreamYard call. What's been your reaction seeing everybody else's performance in comparison to your own with this? And what has your husband's reaction been with all of this?
You know, COVID has made things a little difficult, but even without COVID, I think, you know, since everybody is in a different location, we're kind of all experiencing things for the first time together via social media and YouTube. I cringe every time I watch myself on camera. I don't like doing it, but it is so wonderful to see the performances that I watched live really come alive together as these characters. And I have to say the best part of the whole thing were doing the stunts. We got to work with incredible stunt people, an incredible stunt coordinator, and like, but how it fits into the parody of everything. Because when you think superhero, you think stunts. So we've incorporated that, but, you know, making it funny and making people laugh. And that's really right now what's really important, entertaining people during such a tough time. And my husband actually came to visit us on our last day on set and got to see some of the stunts. And he was really excited seeing the trailer and the previews and stuff. And as the episodes roll out, just seeing it all come together. He's very supportive.
Well, that's important. You have to have a supportive spouse, or else it's kind of pointless to be married to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, really.
All right. So we're going to throw somebody under the bus right now.
Oh boy.
Just for fun, because Scott kept interrupting me and I couldn't answer this question with him. Who was the klutziest superhero? And you can't say yourself.
I was going to say it was probably me. Maybe Nina. I love her. She's so funny, but sometimes I swear she falls on purpose. She just loves to make people laugh. I've never met someone so naturally funny and charismatic. And some of the things she says, even when people don't respond, she'll be like, okay, I guess I'll go jump off a cliff now. Like, and she's just a funny human being, but not very coordinated. Yeah.
And for people that don't know, Nina is Wonder Woman. I know you love her, and everybody loves everybody, and everybody loves everybody. Right. But Nina's Wonder Woman. And in the episode, we're going to give away one spoiler. She does poke fun of herself in regards to like the premiere of Wonder Woman, where she's like, I had to wear brown contacts to cover up these sparkling blue eyes. So like, I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I'm not gonna like step on her line and ruin the joke.
I'm sure she'd appreciate that. She does do stand up, so
yeah,
give her that.
Well, I love what you guys pulled off. I mean, 5 to 10 minute episodes, quick clips, quick cuts, improv lines. So far, what has been your favorite aspect of it, and what's been the one thing that you remember most about the shoot that like had you cracking up so much that you ruined a scene because it was just that funny to you?
Well, I think I kind of touched on that. My favorite part was definitely doing the stunts. Anytime I get to do stunts, I was a former professional dancer, which was also cool because I could incorporate that into Black Widow. I believe she took ballet. She's Russian. So it was also really cool embodying Black Widow because everybody knows Scarlett Johansson, and how many people have played Black Widow? Well, I'm one of the few. So it was, I think that was definitely one of my favorite parts. But what had me cracking up was Bobby Hogan having to do, I think he did probably 6 takes of backflips, and his mask, he couldn't really see anything. So essentially he was doing backflips blind, and people had to kind of like stop and spot him. And a couple of times he didn't quite land, just very Spider-Man-y. And it had all of us kind of cracking up because he's in there and you can't really hear him. He's kind of blind. It's, yeah, the costume I think was really difficult to work in.
Good. There are some redemptive qualities of humanizing Bobby Hogan at this point.
Yes.
All right. I like
that.
He
is human after all.
All right, Bobby, that's your one. That's your one pass. All right.
We're going for redemption here.
Here's the funny thing. Bobby's going to see this and go, I don't even know that guy. Why is he dumping all over me?
Why doesn't
Kids,
he like me?
We're just playing, man. This is,
Yeah.
It's
Give him 10 minutes. I promise you will. You'll love him.
No, it's like they made fun of David, what's it called? David Cassidy, when he was Keith Partridge. And they're like, we have to make him dumb in the show because he's just too perfect. So like, you're just too perfect, Bobby. So we got to tease you. That's all it is, pal. Gen X, we're old and bitter. That's what it is, Bobby. That's all it is. We were young and bitter. Now we're just old and bitter.
Yeah, that's true. That's our generation.
I know we're running out of time. You got another interview coming up. Superhero Diaries is on YouTube. Superhero Diaries show on Facebook and everything else. Where can we find you, though, on social media if we want to connect with you and see what Black Widow is up to in her personal life?
Hey, I am on social media, all different platforms at Maria Breese.
And how do we spell Breese, just so everyone can figure it out?
Sure. Breese.
Maria Breese, it was fun cracking jokes with you. The show's great. Everybody's having a good time with it. I'm enjoying it. If you can work with Scott, you can put up with my nonsense because he's 10 times funnier than I am. So that's all that matters. But I really appreciate your time today. And please check out Superhero Diaries. But give everybody one last soundbite of why they need to see it and why they need to pay attention to Black Widow.
If you love superheroes and you love to laugh, this is the perfect series for you. Come watch me as Black Widow and given some hilarity to her Russian demeanor.